Joining us now is someone who was not only inside the confirmation hearing for Judge Jackson today, but also got to question her directly. Democratic Senator from Rhode Island, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. Senator, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Good to be with you.
So on this, the second day of the hearing, what are your thoughts so far? Any key takeaways?
Well, you know, this is a long day for the witness. She started this morning at 9, and there are a number of senators who are out to try to trip her up and create as hostile an environment for her as they can. So it's quite a difficult day for anyone. And she, I think, is weathering it extremely well. She's been very patient. She's given very thoughtful, clear answers. And so I would say, if I were one of the White House team sitting behind her, that it's been a pretty good day for them under the circumstances.
What did you think of Senator Cruz bringing up critical race theory to Judge Jackson? Fair line of questioning, in your opinion?
He was asking her about a book that she'd never seen, that was taught in a class that she'd never attended. I think that these are the things that presidential aspirants like to talk about because it generates buzz on the right. But there really wasn't a direct connection with her. The closest that he could come was that she was on the board of a school in which there was a class that perhaps used that book as a text or used it in some way.
And Senator Hawley, as you know, challenged Judge Jackson on some of the specifics of her sentencing involving a child pornography case. He said directly that he questioned her discretion. Do you feel that his points were valid as far as her being overly concerned about the perpetrator versus the victim?
I've been a federal prosecutor, and I learned to have a lot of respect for the probation department. They prepare a pre-sentence report, and the evidence shows that by and large she has been impressed by the probation pre-sentence recommendations. The prosecutors obviously would like to have a judge that followed their recommendations all the time. She has not, but she's been consistent with the pre-sentencing reports over and over. And I think the probation people know folks pretty well. They look pretty hard at trying to figure out how culpable an individual is, how the guidelines apply to them. So I think relying on the probation pre-sentence report is actually a very credible and normal thing for a judge to do, particularly in this case where the defendant was an 18-year-old.
And right before questioning Judge Brown, you tweeted yourself, "In a few minutes, I will ask questions of an accomplished, experienced, highly qualified Supreme Court nominee and Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. It will be an honor." Obviously, you are quite confident in what Judge Jackson can bring to the bench. Is there anything that you feel that she might be lacking for this role? Any concerns at all?
No, I think she's extremely able and well prepared. I think she expands the court in a good way, bringing a perspective that others won't share. I think she's been just remarkable in her patience with all of us. And she's obviously had as stellar an American career as one could imagine in the law. So I think it's all lining up very nicely for her right now.
The 3 justices chosen by the previous administration brought about a lot of political mudslinging, and this one appears to be similar. Is there anything that you feel that you can do personally to try to bridge the divide, or does it always have to be so divisive?
Well, I think a lot of the reason why the previous 3 nominations were so divisive were the stunts and the tricks that were pulled in the Senate to jam the nominees through. You have to remember that Mitch McConnell held the court at only 8 judges for a year to block President Obama's ability to appoint Judge Garland, and then opened it up instantly to shove Gorsuch on. That was pretty unpleasant. The Kavanaugh nomination was compromised a lot by a witness who was willing to come forward and say that she'd been assaulted by him and willing to undergo cross-examination by a professional prosecutor in the hearing about what had happened to her as a young woman at his hands. And then Judge Barrett completely broke their promise that you can't have votes on a Supreme Court nominee in the run-up to an election. Hers was actually even closer to an election than the Ginsburg seat. So all of them had these really challenging problems that the Republicans were just jamming us on. And I think that created a lot of the drama. In this case, we've been following the rules quite closely, and I think that the drama has reduced as a result of the quality of the nominee and our adherence to the precedents of the committee.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, we thank you so much for your time and insight. Really appreciate you coming on the show.
Good to be with you.
And be sure to tune in to coverage of Day 3 of the confirmation hearing all day on ABC News Live tomorrow, beginning at 9 a.m.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.